Hey everyone, welcome in. Today and this summer, I'm going to be going back through some of the games from our high school association. These are evals that I've been meaning to get to people and just haven't been able to yet. So we want to do that today. We're going to start with this crew. We're just going to go ahead and call the home plate umpire Jordan Baker because he's like 6'5". Dude's huge. And first base umpire Marcelo Zuna because I got the Pirates here. Pirates Braves streaming next to me. So that's what we're going with. Obviously, not their names. Again, this is just going to be a game breakdown. We're going to talk through it. We'll talk about different plays, what we're seeing. This is meant as an evaluation for them, but it's also something that all of us can benefit from watching, from discussing, especially within our own association. Hopefully, it'll help some of you out there as well. So we'll go ahead. We'll get started, and we'll go from there. So just from the national anthem, that's where our broadcast picks up. One of the things I really liked from this plate umpire is his presence that he displays throughout the game, and I wanted to keep that in here. I love how he stays close to the plate, how he doesn't wander too far from this working area around home. When you're near home, you're able to command the field. You're able to keep the game moving. And he does a great job with his presence to be there. Definitely helps when you're 6'5" or whatever he is. But yeah, just a nice presence that really controls the field. So we see here he's taking his warm-up pitches on either side of the catcher and getting ready for the inning to start. So we'll start just to see how the game starts. We'll watch a little bit of his plate mechanics before kind of getting into the full-on action in the game. Starting with a left-handed batter. Good slot position. We're dealing with here, again, a catcher that's on one knee. This is just becoming more prevalent. So we'll see how he adjusts to it. This is a younger, newer umpire too. So you can see he's getting really low, which is good. His head height's not too low. Not that I'm super worried about that. But I love how he locks in and then comes up tall to give his strike mechanic. Take advantage of that height. You can see there too, he's adjusting forwards a little bit. And this is something we need to remember when our catchers are doing this on a knee stance. They often, they sit like a normal catcher here, giving signals to the pitcher, but then they drop that leg out and often move forwards quite a bit. And so as umpires, we want to try to be aggressive in the slot. And if that catcher moves forward, moving with them. Our plate umpire here does a good job with that. That's really going to help us to better see the outside parts of the plate. And again, the further you move forwards, because we're going to we're moving up and attacking the slot, it does allow you to work a little bit lower. And I think that's important, especially when we have catchers that, because of the way they're receiving, going from the ground and coming up now, it can make them really slow to that high pitch. So we can actually work lower, and you'll see some of the younger MLB umpires doing that. But if we're going to do it, we got to be moving even further forward into the slot. Catcher comes inside. We want to stay just above the catcher, like we do here. Good locked-in stance. Really good adjustment. And you can see here to get lower, he likes to bring his legs in to drop down. That's just whatever you're most comfortable with behind the plate. But this is a good job adjusting to this positioning. Good work. We like moving. Direction of the ball. Maybe go a little bit further if you can. Not bad, though. Just here, this is something that you learn at a pro school. When you get to this position here, drop back this way, stay chest to ball, and then come with a bigger circle around back here. That way you can still keep your chest to the ball and always know where it is on the field. Runner on second. And always good. We're backing up after every pitch. We're resetting. And then we go back as the pitcher gets on the rubber, as we're getting set here. Getting into a preliminary stance. And then backing up. Runner on second. So this ball is, it looks like it's routine. Let's see. Got the runner on second, less than 2 outs. So he's going to tag up on this. Hard to really tell on this when it's caught. You can guess based off kind of when he leaves. Our base umpire does a good job of backing up, lining up the tag and the catch out in right field so that he can rule on if the runner left early. It's a good job on this. Plate umpire, there's really not much for you to do. I'd probably say just stay more towards the point of the plate. You might have wandered just a little bit up the first base line in case this had a potential to be your coverage ball on that. If it was trouble in coverage on the right field side of the field, it wasn't. So then maybe point of the plate, because as this develops, so we get a throw here into into third. If this ball gets passed as the plate umpire, you have responsibility for trouble ball on that third base side, as well as coming home for a play at the plate. What you don't want is if you're stuck here, now you're trying to awkwardly move to, one, keep an eye on the ball on the near dead ball territory, while also trying to back up and get to that third baseline extended for the play. Versus if we just started point of the plate, we only have to move 3 or 4 steps to our right, and we're on that third baseline extended, and we keep everything in front of us. This one's kind of dull. Doesn't give us a whole lot here. But the runner on third, ball's hit. So reading our left fielder, we should have an idea that this is potentially a trouble ball. It's taking him towards the line. So definitely want to be getting on the line if possible. But then once we have that, good job seeing the touch of the plate. So this is going to be a courtesy runner. I love the way we handle that. Just stay near home. Don't need to wander. The coaches know. The coaches of the opposing team know when it's a courtesy runner. They've got their own copy of the lineup. They see that it's the pitcher or the catcher that reached. They know it. More often than not, it's amazing when you have a good press box. They're usually announcing it before you even get it or before you get the change in. So no reason to delay the game here by doing a big signal to the plate or to the press box and then to this other coach. We stay near home. We just keep the game moving. Okay, so back to between innings here. Again, really like his presence. Stays around the plate area where he can control the game, he can run the game. And that's just a consistent theme of his game management that, we don't really talk a lot about when we're doing these evaluations. But when we're talking about the perception of an umpire and when we're looking at who's going to work where in the postseason, we think about these things. It's that perception of game management that's there. So this is an advantage of having a young plate umpire, right? He is always quick out from behind the plate and moving to cover his responsibilities. Now, I am going to ding our base umpire here that, this is probably a ball that we need to go out on. It's hard to tell on this screen. I think it is. But I don't even remotely believe we had a pause, read, and react. We just went balls off bat. There's the ball's hit. And that first step is already committing to, I'm going in. That's going to be a theme for this. And that's just, again, that's something that at the high school level, especially for officials that are trying to move up, we need to really hone in on our pause, read, and react. It becomes even more important when you get to cruise of 3 and cruise of 4 that you're confident when you go out, you know when to go out. You're not missing opportunities to go out. Order responsibilities. A lot of umpires aren't practicing this because, they're working 3 games in a day and they say, oh, I'm not going to go out. Their partner doesn't want them to do that or just not putting in, that's why we do high school baseball, right? That's one of the things I love about it is it's 1 game a day. We're going to work it as hard as we can. That means going out and rotating. We need to build that skill here. And it's going to be consistent throughout this that our base umpire really does not have that. But our plate umpire does a great job. He gets out there. He's at the mound to make that catch, no catch call, which is perfect. So next batter, left-handed. This ball's left center. Looks like potentially trouble. Again, look at our plate umpire. Great job getting out there. You can't ask for anything more from this. This is it's just high-level performance, and it's being quick off the bat to get out there. For our base umpire, this is not a ready position, right? If we're gonna be not hands on knees set, which we can be at the corners in A or D, if we're going to not be hands on knees set, then we should have our outside foot forwards in sort of an athletic scissors stance. So that would be your left foot here. But we don't do that. And it just plays off that everything's slow. That first step is slow. And I'm guessing this is an older umpire. I'm not honestly sure how old Marcelo Zuna is out there because I really don't know which umpire it actually is. But, just look how slow we are to get going. And, if this gets down and we have a play at second, he's going to be chasing that. He's not going to be out in front of it. Same issue if it opens up at third.
Pitched 5 innings, 3 earned runs against Mount Vernon as Brantley first pitch roller to third. And the home plate umpire is going to call it a foul ball, and the ball's trickled over to third. And Mike Shaheen's not happy about the call. He felt like the ball hit the base.
So that glitch was in the feed. That is not your computer or my computer. It just didn't come in well. It happens, right? It's a high school stream. It's hard to tell, right? My guess is that, look, this is a weird hop it takes. So like I'm moving forward a couple frames here and it just glitches to there. So we can't tell on this. I'm kind of thinking it might have hit the bag based off the fact that it goes low after this. But it's hard to tell. I'd say just on this, for our plate umpire, does a good job getting out there. He's on the line, makes his call. And we'll go back to looking at the full screen here.
Brantley first pitch roller to third.
More to be more direct with
and
the
the
coach.
Home plate umpire is going to call it a foul ball, and the ball's trickled over to
maybe. I mean, you can see. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else you can do about it. Potentially just a tough break, or maybe it was foul, and we can't tell on this broadcast. I know it's a weird hop, but it is what it is. So good job getting out from behind the plate. The only thing is just go ahead and straddle the foul line, right? That's the important line for us at the high school and collegiate levels is the foul line. So we need to be straddling that. He always does a great job getting out from behind the plate. We just need to build that habit of being on the foul line because that's going to be our biggest priority as the plate umpire with no runners on and a ground ball being fielded in the infield. We've got a runner on first. Third out, fielded across. For our base umpire, don't get hands on knee set because you don't have a play at third base. So we get hands on knee set when we're looking at what's our final play. When we're looking at a play, a tag, a force out, what have you. That's not happening at third base here. So don't get hands on knee set because you're just slowing down your reaction time. And, the difference is going to be that if we're watching a higher level umpire, you'll see that they're getting about all the way over here for this play. They're not standing all the way back here. And that's because they don't get down for no reason like that. They stay athletic. They feel where the play is moving, and they're able to get there, gain distance and direction so that, if this is a close play, they've got a better shot of getting it right. So go back to between innings. Again, plate umpire, good job just having a presence there for all of it. Check swing, plate umpire does not get it. But I like this mechanic. Come out big, go with the left hand, right? There's no question. He is not calling a strike. He is going for help. Get big, get your partner's attention. And getting your partner's attention can be important, right? Sometimes we ask on ones that maybe they're not paying attention or they didn't think it was that close, and then they miss that you ask. So when you're here making this big gesture, your partner can make a timely call. So I really like that mechanic. So this is just a walk, but watch the base umpire on this. So, that it just doesn't look good. It looks slow. It looks lazy, and the goal in my teaching is that we want to work at a championship level, right? And that's going to vary for each person. For some of us, we're never going to be a truly championship umpire, but I think this umpire could move a lot more, look a lot better. Really just more hustle, more effort. And when you look at the schedule and wonder why you're working some games versus somebody else jogging from A position to B position, they just look a hell of a lot better out there. So we got a double play here. We'll talk through it. For our plate umpire, in the high school and collegiate mechanics, the plate umpire should have the legality of the slide at second. Now, that's not always possible for them to get that because they might be looking through multiple fielders, including a pitcher. Base umpire try to have some idea, but plate guy, know that's your priority. So on this ball, once it's put in play, try to come out and get a little bit more of an angle to see this and focus more on this, at least up to this point, and then, just turn your head to see this. But don't lock into this, and then we have no eyes over here because your base umpire, who's got to call it first, he has to leave this at second to come look over there. So just be careful on that. First and second, obviously 2 outs. Good job here. Ball's hit. Base umpire, can shade that side of the field a little bit that the ball's hit, but it doesn't look like a trouble ball. For our plate umpire, don't start getting sucked up that third base line. Go ahead and start coming to the point of the plate. You've got nothing that you'd be covering at third. Drop back, keep our field of view open so that we can see everything. Because right now, he's supposed to be seeing that touches third. I don't know that he does. Versus if you drop back to the point of the plate, narrows that field of view that we need to have. Again, back between innings, like the game management here, hanging out around home. It's a good job getting out, giving that fair mechanic. But just go ahead, you're there. Just take those 2 or 3 steps up the line and get set. Just be straddling the line. Because it looks good, though. And it really does remind me of watching Jordan Baker behind the plate. Again, between innings, right where you want to be, managing the game, looking attentive, looking like you're ready to go, looking focused. No runners on. Pop-up means pivot. Our base umpire knows that, and he's good about that. It would look so much better, right, if he were in that scissors athletic stance ready to just go. For our plate umpire, pop-up means pivot, catch, no catch. But what comes before that? Fair foul, right? So on this one, I'd go ahead and be hanging out on that third base line, straddling it, prepared for this to hop and possibly bounce back towards the line and maybe into foul territory if it gets down. So just make sure we're defending the foul lines. So this ball gets through the right side. For our base umpires, this is a tough one because we are trying to hold up a little bit for the second baseman, because if he makes that play, if he stops it right there, we don't want to be obviously getting in the way of his throw. But as soon as it's passed, we got to be identifying, we've got a runner coming at full speed and we have almost no speed. We need to be getting in to take that batter runner to second. This is just slow, because we see this ball get past outfielders. It happens on grass fields. He's right there picking it up. So this ball gets past him, right? He makes a bad play on it. He tries to come up and scoop it and just misses. All things that happen at the pro level every once in a while. So they're very possibly could happen here. We got to be ready to take that runner in. This is just, it's slowness, right? What do we want to do to look the best we can out there? If I had to guess, our base umpire is a little too narrow up the middle. Just my guess. See, I do like when we're hands on knee set. I'd say be hands on knee set when he gets engaged to the rubber. But, I mean, this looks like a much more athletic base umpire who's actually in the game and engaged. Okay, that runner on first still. This is, again, a great example of one where, as the base umpire, feel with 2 outs, feel the second baseman's momentum, taking him to first. That's going to be where the play is at. And then use that to just get more towards the edge of the working area to be a lot closer to that play at first. It looks more engaged with the game. Again, this right here is like perfect positioning between innings. Good. What I've started doing is kind of my goal is to be on any routine play in the infield, trying to be just outside of the dirt circle around home, up that first base line with no runners on in a play at first. Something to just try, because again, it looks more engaged and you're getting into a position where you can rule runner's lane, help out on a pulled foot, what have you. That'll only be more important as we get to the double first base, seeing more time on the field. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's try it again. So, like, if this ball gets down, which again, these are high school players, balls get down. If this ball gets down, I guess the good news is our plate umpire is putting in enough effort and hustle. He can probably get that play at second, because there's no way our first base umpire is getting there. Again, it's just like, where do you want to be in your development? Where do you want to go in the postseason? These are things we're looking at. And they build your reputation over time. And that's, your reputation with the teams, with your other partners. It's a perception thing and a hustle thing. And sometimes it's amazing in officiating. Sometimes, you might work 100 games in a year, only one of them gets evaluated. You hope that one you got evaluated, you do well in, but you never know which game that's going to be. Sometimes you can't. That's why you just got to build the habits of doing it all kind of at that higher level. Bases loaded here. Ground ball through the third baseman and to the shortstop. He kind of nothing crazy here, just plate umpire. Once you see that ball there, go ahead and take a couple steps back. Again, bases loaded. Oh, well, that's the end of the inning. Easy enough. And look how he's not wandering. He's not going to the dugouts. He's not talking to the coaches. He's perfectly engaged between innings here. See, now we get a little bit more of that hustle from the base umpire, and it just looks better. Left fielder to the line, no runners on. For a plate umpire, sometimes we can exit. Sometimes when we have a left-handed batter, puts us in the slot on the right side of the catcher like this, it can be tempting to get to that line just going to the right. You're like, oh, it's right there. I can just get to the line. But the problem that you have to be aware of, that is why we still pretty much always preach exit to the left, is that you're going to want to get to that line. Your catcher is naturally just going to walk forwards to that line as well and potentially block you out if this is a closer fair foul decision down the line. Versus if you exit to the catcher's left, you're then making sure that you're going to be up in front of him. There we go. If you exit here, you're going to be in front of him. You don't have to worry about him cutting you off. And then see how it pushes you even further out because you're trying to get around him and he's just naturally going and he can't see you. So like this is a great example of one where our plate umpire working up the line. So, quick right step out behind him and then working up the line so that you can help see, do we get a foot down? Do we have any illegal contact? Do we have, are we going to have a touch of the correct base by each player? There's a lot of things that can happen here. Be moving up that line so that you're close and you can see it and you can provide really good insight confidently should something happen. Kind of routine. About as minimal effort as you could get from a base umpire. It's really all there is to say about that one, right? There we go. Get a little strike three mechanic action in here. Like this one, right? Head forwards, good, strong, confident pullback. Keep our head forward so we can see everything around the plate. So our second baseman ends up making this catch. Of course, what does that mean? Pop-up means pivot, right? Go ahead and you just never know. So be coming in on this. You could maybe have said trouble. I don't think this is high enough, though, to warrant, hey, it's going to be trouble, and he'll be kind of going in the outfield. I think this is just one that off the bat we should be thinking pop-up means pivot, and I'm going in hard. Plate umpire, come out a little bit more aggressively direction of the ball, just because who knows, right? Great example of, okay, coach has a bunch of changes for me. That's about as far as we should ever go. We should never leave this camera, this view, as the plate umpire. Substitutions, whatever. The only exception being if you got your water bottle up against the fence back there, okay, you gotta leave to go get that and drink, stay hydrated. But otherwise, we should stay pretty much in this view at all times. We want to be around home to run our game. That's where we need to be to run the game. So good job here staying there. If there's any complicated changes where you really need to communicate with the manager, call them by name, have them come out and speak to you. Say, hey, John, I've got a couple changes. And either, just say them between the two of you or bring them out if you need to. So this is a runner on second, home run. We have a potential tag up here. For our plate umpire, remember that we don't have a rotation here. We're just dropping back to the point of the plate. For our base umpire, once you read trouble ball, we're not going out from the middle, but we should work towards the edge of the grass dirt line. And I want you to start working on identifying these and building those reactions. So on this, you turn, you square up, you see center fielder going back, work your way up towards the cutout here, still where you can line up the tag in a potential catch, but also you have the best angle, or you're gaining distance to be able to call whether or not this ball is a home run. So for our plate umpire, stay home. And you kind of see how, he wandered up a little bit for this home run, but all of a sudden now he's looking here at the catcher when he should be seeing this touch at third. It's not terrible, but just, if we just drop back to the point of the plate here, ball leaves, we might have moved a little bit just to see it, but we keep everything in front of us. Oh, you know what? My apologies. There were multiple runners on base. So, runners on first and second. Let's go back to that. So, first and second, yes, we do have a potential rotation here. That said, if that's the case, then we got to be moving a lot harder because we can tell when that ball was close to being caught is somewhere around here. If this ball is caught, yeah, there's probably not a play at third because he's probably not making that throw, but this is certainly not the position for that. We probably should have wandered closer to here by now. Then when we see it, if we were to see the catch, then we'd drop back or, potentially go up if we think there could be a play. But first and second, double tag, rotation, getting up to third base faster. At least exiting the catcher faster. But also, too, as we watch this, if we're back at the point of the plate, we can see home and third base kind of at the same time to know who's where when, because you're responsible for that touch at third by the runner from first, cutting off our view if we head into fair territory there. And that's just a good example of where if we'd been moving up the line, we could really help out on that play. Runner on first, stealing. So this is 2 outs, which tells us enough. But, all right, right here, even with a fast young umpire behind the plate, Jordan Baker with like a 6-foot stride, he ain't going to beat that runner to third. So we should identify 2 outs, runner stealing. There's no rotation here. Calling off our partner, just saying, I'm staying home. Let your partner take everything. And that lets your partner know, too, that if something's going to happen at third on R1, that's his responsibility. You do the crew an advantage of letting him know that versus, trying to get there potentially and waiting too long on something where you're just not going to make it. But you can see there just how good our plate umpire looks on these routine fly balls with no runners on. I mean, this looks good. And that's what, if you go watch a single A game, that's what you're going to see those plate umpires doing, and it looks good. Versus, whatever we get out of our base umpire here. Obviously, it's hard to tell on this broadcast what happened here. No runners on. I think this is... So, let's talk about it. Again, our base umpire has not built a skill of pause, read, and react. And so that results in him taking this first step is immediately, oh, I'm going in. And then he realizes, oh, crap, this is trouble. You've technically already committed to coming in, but sometimes we just know as a plate umpire, our partner's not great at read, so maybe I got to make a late decision. Except you can see the problem here is that our plate umpire, he ain't making the right decision either. If this ball this ball, as bad as it is, it's caught below the waist. So we weren't that far from this ball getting down, and our base umpire is in his position and the plate umpire is in his. That has the potential to be a problem. So, again, just one, base umpire gotta work on our pause, read, and react here. This is one where we should just be going up the first base line, gaining distance, and be set on the line for a potential fair foul catch, no catch. Plate umpire, build that habit of, it's not my trouble ball, but I gotta be ready to bail out my partner, or, well, at least be ready to get on the line if our partner comes in when he shouldn't have, which he almost did, or when he makes this decision late, if that ball gets down, be it second base, should a play develop there. See, and then, this happens right after. So because we're in this, there's no way to put it. This is a lazy setup for our base umpire. And then when this ball goes up, there's no pause, read, and react. There's just, oh, I think I gotta go. And then we get, and I think even here he's realizing oh, maybe I shouldn't have gone on this. But now we've already committed to go out, and then we've decided that we're not going to go out, but we're also going to make no attempt to get to second. It's just bad, right? Like the fun and all that bad comes from just a bad habit and lack of experience and skill with the pause, read, and react. It is so critical that we take advantage of every game we get to practice that, because if you don't build up that skill, it ain't going to be there when you need it, or when some annoying pale white guy on the internet is watching your game. And that's when we don't want to be seen. And again, like, clearly he didn't take it because, well, we see our plate umpire here give the out mechanic, so we won't linger on it anymore. It's just not good. Plate umpire gets a change there. This was the only one I flagged, like, we're getting a little far, right? I want to go much further than that. I probably would have stopped a little bit closer before going over that way. It's very nitpicky, but it's a game management thing. That was the only time where I saw on this that he looked like he got a little bit far out. So I thought our plate umpire was fat. He's faster out. He gets slower the more that ball's hit to the right side of the field is what I'm noticing. Go back. See, that's good movement. Just be on the line. And then one thing to always work on, chest to ball at all times. Don't let a string from your chest to the ball ever get wrapped around you. That's a big thing that they're looking for, especially in like working crew of two in the minor leagues. That chest to ball is fundamental, right? So on this one here, once you're here, just drop, step open, and work your way back this way. Fair foul on this one. Run around first. No rotation because we've got a trouble ball on the right field line. We can tell that from the right fielder's reaction. Don't look up. Go ahead and get on that line. Start working forwards. It might be a little obvious here that the ball's foul. But we don't need a signal from both umpires, right? Whose fair foul is this? Come on, it's the plate umpires. For our base umpire, conceivably you might say it if like a runner is, if you're trying to just be courteous to the base runner because he's not looking at the ball and he's running and you're just trying to stop him to go back. I don't really know that I believe that this is. Let's just not build a habit of making fair foul decisions when it's not our decision. Let's go back to this one. Wild pitch. Nothing crazy. Good job staying in front. For our plate umpires, right? Just remember, if we have a trouble ball over there that's potentially going to roll into a dugout, that's ours to keep an eye on. Runner on second. Ball's hit. Must be 2 outs. So home run, right? This ball, if we look at our right fielder, he opens up chest to center, which means I'm probably giving this to my base umpire. For our base umpires, though, read trouble, get across the working area, be shading that side of the field, potentially hit the dirt grass cutout since this is a trouble ball. For our plate umpire, we might have been thinking about going up the line, but once we know we're not going to do that, drop back point of the plate, because yes, you would give up a touch at third to see the ball actually leave the field, but we are working our way over to a point where we're not going to be able to see that. Versus, again, back up point of the plate, I can see a touch at third, I can see the batter, give the finger to the opposing dugout as he gets to first. Things like that, right? Just open up our field of view. We don't want to sacrifice it when we don't need to. And we certainly don't want to be looking at the catcher and not see that touch at home. Because you'll never believe it, but I saw a championship game this year where a guy missed home. It's important to see that. More important than handing a ball to them. And it's funny, in pro school, they'll teach you, don't hand the ball to the pitcher or to the defense before the guy scores because you don't want him to throw it at the runner or the batter. Okay, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Maybe it did somewhere. If the catcher asks you for a ball, give him a ball. You're right. They're frustrated. They just want to keep things moving. That's fine. But don't give up our touches because of that. First and second. Nothing real exciting there. Bases loaded, fly ball, or not bases loaded, but second and third, fly ball, less than 2 outs. For our umpires, for our plate umpire, just backing up, back up so that you can see the catch in the outfield and his tag up at third base. Yeah, so just don't move forward, move backwards, right? Kind of the same situation. They're probably not tagging up on this because it looks like the ball stays in the infield. But just be wary, right? There's no need to go forwards. Almost done. We're in the bottom of the 7th here. Ooh. What do we think, internet umpire? So runner on first. Order responsibilities, right? Right from here. Probably fair foul first. And trouble ball, potential catch, no catch. You see him running hard to the line. Plate umpire, just go up the first baseline on this. Yell into your partner, I've got the ball or I'm on the line. So your partner knows to be ready to take R1 into third if necessary. But let's stay with our order of responsibilities here. This needed a fair foul. Let's go up the first baseline. First and second. So this one, we obviously can't really see everything that happens here. It looks like it's hit to the second baseman, and he gets it off one hop. It's not high enough that it was a infield fly. They throw to second to get the force out of R1, and then R2 gets tagged out at third. Sometimes it's just unfortunate. And then end the game. Swing and a miss. So easy enough. I thought our plate umpire looked good. There's definitely room for improvement. Our base umpire, very meh performance, honestly, is what I took away from it. But hopefully there's some stuff that these umpires can use, or just anybody watching this, give you an idea of watching some things on a game, and what could we do better next time, or what could we do different. So, as always, thanks so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you on the field.